Before humanity shaped the world with cities and machines, before history was ever written in books, there roamed a beast as fierce as any creature that's ever lived. A predator forged in the cold fires of the Ice Age. Not just a wolf. Not just a legend. But the dire wolf. You've probably heard the name. Maybe in a fantasy series or an online myth. But the real dire wolf was no fantasy. It was very real, very deadly, and it ruled a continent long before we ever stepped foot on it. The dire wolf, or Aenoscient dirus, which means terrible wolf, lived across North and South America during the late Pleistocene era. That's over 100,000 years ago. And it wasn't just a bigger version of the modern grey wolf, it was something entirely different. A separate lineage. A different genus. While grey wolves evolved in Eurasia and later spread to North America, dire wolves were native to the Americas. They were homegrown, adapted to the wild prehistoric lands of a colder, harsher earth. Picture this. A massive wolf, heavier and more muscular than any wolf alive today. Nearly 5 feet long from nose to tail. Standing nearly 3 feet tall at the shoulder. Weighing up to 200 pounds, solid muscle and bone. These were pack hunters with jaws strong enough to crush bones, and teeth built not just for slicing meat, but for snapping the thick limbs of Ice Age herbivores. And these weren't lone wolves. They hunted in packs. Coordinated. Intelligent. Strategic. Fossil beds show us dozens of dire wolf remains piled together, suggesting that when one fell, the others did too, fighting and dying together, just like they lived. What did they hunt? Anything they wanted. Giant bison, prehistoric horses, young mammoths, mastodons, and even the massive ground sloths. Their world was filled with creatures far bigger and more dangerous than anything today. But dire wolves were up to the challenge. Some scientists are even asking, could we bring them back? Could the dire wolf walk again through advances in genetics or cloning? The truth is, probably not anytime soon. Most DNA samples are too damaged, and cloning extinct animals comes with enormous ethical and scientific challenges. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe we don't need to bring the dire wolf back to honor it. Maybe it's enough to learn its story, to understand how it lived, thrived, and finally fell. Because the story of the dire wolf is not just about power or extinction. It's about adaptation. About the cost of survival. About what happens when nature shifts and the once mighty can no longer rule. It's a warning. And a reminder. No matter how strong, how dominant, how unstoppable something seems, change can come for anyone. Even the dire wolf. So the next time you hear a wolf's howl echoing in the distance, or see an artist's rendering of a giant, saber-toothed predator, remember that once, there truly was a beast so feared and so formidable that nature herself had to rewrite the rules to make way for something new. That was the dire wolf. And it was very, very real.